Okay, today is the 1st of June, and I'm continuing with the with the shed. In fact, I'm planning to do more of these wooden bits, battens to hold the cladding in place. I've got some wood for that purpose. Also got some filler, glue, and some more bolts, which are there. But first thing I need to do is sort out the battery in this car. It seems to have problems on Wednesday, so I've got a new battery, which is currently sitting in there, and I'm going to replace it. I've also got the little key code, actually just keep inside. Battery's currently sitting there. Key code. Standard number, I'm not going to show you it. Standard little number, and we should need to put the radio back again once you've disconnected the battery. Anyway, I shall continue onwards. Other things I'll do, obviously the outside of what I show you. Go ahead and show you. Do the the bit that sticks out over that, what's it called? Not sure. Maybe an eave, maybe. That comes out over the top of the window, so the water directs away. Might like to try and do something here as well. I'm not exactly sure how, but I suppose we've already got quite a bit above it, so it's not quite so important. And what else have we got to do? Oh yes. I need to cut the grass. Well, that's not really anything to do with the shed, it's just something eventually will be done. I'm not sure exactly how much we're going to get done this month. Two reasons: I'm kind of busy, and because I'm kind of busy and spending lots of money on other things, I'm not sure how much we can spend on the shed. The worst comes to the worst, I'll start digging a hole. In fact, what I was thinking of doing was this is where the old shed was. Basically, I thought I'd cut into it and dig down, so we have an area underneath what will be the summer house, where I can place the wine and things on that line. There's a storage area for that sort of thing, which is going to be nice and relatively cool. So dig down quite a few feet and have something that goes up and down into the summer house. That'll be nice. Anyway, onward. Bye. Okay, there we are, new battery in. Started the car, started no problem. Not that I was expecting it to. In fact, interestingly, I didn't even need to re-enter the code for the radio. So obviously it wasn't disconnected long enough to actually require that. Basically, it's just undo that bolt, then undo the earth, undo the live, take out the battery, put a new one in, which is this one obviously. Do the reverse order, put them back together again, and so it's pretty quick actually. Okay, close that down, and while I'm at it, I'll just go top up the fluid because I think we'll get a bit low. Is there anything down there? Nope, can't see anything. Anyway, need to top that up while I'm at it. The fluid for the engine's fine, and I'll check the oil, and that's fine as well. I might need to check the other one while I'm at it. Anyway, onward. Okay, it looks like the Corsa's fine as well. The oil, well actually, it wasn't right at the top, but it's one marked down. So a long letty on that one. Fluid is alright. Water bottle, screen washer bottle is nearly empty, so I filled that one up. And also maybe do a wash. It looks like it's been either looked like bits from a cherry tree. In fact, I even found some tiny, here we are, little tiny dry cherries. And so I guess my wife has parked it under some cherry tree. But I'm pretty certain I know which one. In Whiteleaf Station car park. I think she went up to London for a day and drove the car down, I guess, and parked it there and came. Got all the bits on it. Anyway, could do with a wash. Not that I haven't really bothered too much about that. Okay, this one definitely is going to have a wash because I've got a wedding later on in the month, so it might get its annual wash. I think you got to wash it for my other niece's wedding last year. Okay, onward. Okay, I've just reprogrammed the remote. Here's the old one. For some reason it sort of like stopped working. Even I know replace the battery, nothing. Even soldered and unsoldered little switches on it, nothing. Well, I've got the switches. I also replaced the cover, so this isn't the original casing. But the original casing was half dead, and the switches look pretty awful. But even that, nothing. Maybe soldering or something destroyed something. I don't know. So I bought myself another one of those, complete with the circuit board and everything in it, but not the immobiliser. The immobiliser is actually it sits in here. It's not a little chip than the main board. So got that. Got one of these off of eBay for 15. Oh, by the way, that one cost £10 or nearly £10, £9.95 or something on that line. Got one of these, cost 15 quid. In fact, I'd already bought this to do a similar job on the Vectra. Oh, sorry, this is for the Corsa, by the way. Did a similar thing for the Vectra, and you run a bit of software, plug it in, USB cable, plugs it into in this case my old laptop. Run some software. Okay, software is a bit of a pain. It's not the most intuitive, obvious thing to do and things, but once you manage to work your way around it, it's actually relatively straightforward. Reprogram the remote. So looking at total outlay, well, I'd already got this. This was 15 quid, but suppose you had to buy that, and you bought one of these, you're looking at 25 quid. Obviously the original casing, this outer bit, including the blade, is still the same. So replacing that and buying that would cost you around about 25 quid. Now, to get somebody to actually come and do it, we're looking at, the cheapest I found was £109, and often they're around about 150, 160. So I've saved myself a lot of money, because basically with 160 I wouldn't have gone and done it. I'll live with having to just use the key in, sticking in the lock. Anyway, I'm quite pleased with that. So it's not the first time I've done this. I've also done this on the Vectra. Obviously this one and the software that comes with it only works for Vauxhall and Opel cars. So it's got a little Opel badge on it. Anyway, onward. Bye. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. If you're going to do this, you have to have your car pass. Now, if you haven't got a car pass, you'll have to pay 26 quid or whatever it was. I didn't actually buy one, but the person who I bought the Vectra off had to get a car pass, and that cost him 26 quid. And then I bought the car off of him. So without it, you are completely dead in the water. You will not work. If you're going to buy the car pass, you have to go to a Vauxhall dealer and give them all kinds of details and registration documents, passport and all kinds of things to prove who you are and that you're the owner of the car, and then they'll print you off another one. I'm not going to show you the back of it because it's got my numbers on it, and I don't want to well, to be honest, not that the Corsa's worth that much, but don't want anyone nicking the Corsa anyway. Okay, anyway, onward, bye. Actually, there's one more thing I think I need to add. What I've done is just to reprogram, in fact this is the old one, reprogram the key remote, not resync it. Resyncing it is when the battery's died or something on that line, and the car temporarily effectively disables the fob. So what you can do is you can stick, get the key, stick it into the ignition, turn to position 2, and then you press the lock button, and it'll reactivate itself. but you need the original key, and you need the original remote, which has already been programmed for that car. So it won't work with if you take out somebody else's remote and you got another one of these, plug it in, it won't work. You have to program it then. It'll only work for one that's already programmed, that is the resyncing. Okay, onward. Okay, that's put a, well, that's what it's called, but an eave or whatever you want to call it, up over the drawer. I planed it down so it's a bit of an angle. Planed down there, which is an angle, and it's screwed in. So we have a slope that tracks water away from the window. So if you won't go in. I've got another batten up here, but I've got the wood inside, which I need to paint first. Onward. Okay, I've started to paint the wood. But I've just got a call from my wife saying she'd like to be picked up from the station, so I've got to go and pick her up. And I suppose I've got to do dinner and all kinds of things, so I'm not sure how much more I'm going to get done. But anyway, I painted the first piece and half painted the second piece, but I really do need to get, so I can't even finish that. Anyway, onward. Maybe this is my last video for today, so if not, speak to you later, otherwise, bye! Okay, managed to do a bit more painting yesterday, so they're the bits of wood. Remember I started them, but then didn't actually film any more. Main aim, I've got to start using those, but the main aim of today is to try and get these painted underneath there so they're grey. And I'm not sure I'm going to paint that one yet, but maybe leave it white for the moment until I get around to actually painting the whole of the wall. I think it's going to be grey as well, and I think I also need to cut the grass. Weather is a bit more cloudy than yesterday, but not too bad. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention it's the 2nd of June 2019 and about 9 minutes to 10. Onward! Okay, that's under the eaves painted all the way around, and but next time I either start on the battening or mow the grass. I think I might do the grass next, it's getting rather long. Anyway, onward. Okay, grass has been cut and it's now after lunch, so I'm going to start on the battens, hopefully complete the battens on this section here by the end of today. Okay, onward. Okay, got quite a lot of the battens up, but I haven't finished particularly around the hinge area. And most of that one, I still need to do a bit in the front of that one. Basically running out of time, so I've got to pack up. So this is going to be the last recording for today. I didn't even get it painted. Oh well. Onward for next week. Bye for now.